Episode 26 of GBGuns Armory, where we're looking back at stuff previously reviewed, stuff that's been out for a while, hoping to gain insight from our collective. Those of you that have tried something or know buddies who have can share the comments, because all this stuff's been out for a while. Also gives me a chance to give a little deeper on the feels, since the reviews are normally all fact-based. This guy is a PTR 32, and it only appeared briefly on the channel, did not do the full review of it. You might be thinking it looks very HK-ish, and you're right, except for the AK magazines. I was really excited about this. If you've never shot a roller delayed firearm like the MP5 or the G3 or things like that, it's a really cool impulse. Roller delay, the chamber isn't locked so much as like on an AR type setup, and as a result the recoil impulse kind of stretches. It makes for a longer but less sharp push, and that kind of evolves into a shooting cadence that you can do for rapid fire that's fun, and it's just an interesting thing. So when I saw this offering up that HK style shooting, but taking AK mags and shooting 7.6239, which at the time was readily available and dirt cheap, I was really excited. I heard a lot of bad reports on the internet of early ones, so I made sure I got a fresh one because I heard the newer ones had been fixed, and was very excited to get this thing in. It was not inexpensive. PTR is a company that I've talked to I don't know how many years in a row at SHOT Show, and they get excited and they say, oh yeah, we know who we are and we'd love to have you review our stuff, and we'll send stuff, and then nothing ever happens. That's just the way it is, and I get it. The channel kind of became more of a pistol channel than a rifle channel anyways. So, bought this thing, very stoked about it. It's heavy. There's a lot of metal in there, super heavy. Now that does soften recoil. Where I got upset and came to not like it is sadly the magazines. For some reason, PTR made this to fit and run with P-mags. Now, logic for that I can see in that, yes, you can HK slap with AK mags. It's kind of fun. P-mags are readily available. They're produced in the US. They are produced to a standard versus like your milsurp ones from Asia and Europe. You never know, and they all fit a little bit differently. So I kind of understand that aspect. But P-mags are also some of the worst 7.6239 mags. I mean, they're an inexpensive mag in general. That's why they come free in all the guns. They work. They'll get you there. They're not the best magazine. I don't have a lot of P-mags in 7.6239 because I don't like them, and in most of my AKs, you can see, I guess it's on that side, some of them, they're not the greatest. So I don't have a whole lot. Yeah, I could pick them up, but it was just annoying. I took, I don't know, maybe 10 different patterns of AK mags out with me to the woods to run through this thing and get familiar with it, and thought, you know, surely some of them will work. And the mag said, don't call me Shirley. And I'm not going to work. So, yeah, you can get past that. Other drawbacks to this that I found, the weight to recoil difference isn't quite worth just, you know, using this over an AK. Like, it doesn't. It's a fun experience, it's a unique sensation, but the AK recoil is not that bad, and an AK is less picky on things. The other aspect of it, as an action nerd, I love the roller locks. They are really cool. It does cost more to make them because there's a lot more parts and precision parts and all that kind of stuff. They're also a lot less fun to take apart and clean. And while I have an MP5 clone that we'll get to later in the series, I've had that thing for years and shot the snot out of it. For some reason that one seems like it needed less maintenance than this did. And when I took this apart, it's one of those things that comes apart fine and goes back together fine one time, but not the next, even though you're doing the same procedures. I try to repeat things to learn and develop the muscle memory and familiarity, and it'd like be easy, and then the next time it'd be impossible, and I'd have to sit it in the corner for an hour and let it think about what it's done, and then come back and try again. It was just a difficult platform to learn. And then the other aspect I was excited about, suppressing. I trust PTR's barrels more than I trust AK barrels for concentricity of threads and things like that. So I thought, hey, this would be a great one to throw a suppressor on. And then reading up on it, and it talks about various problems that happen with suppressors. Those problems might be less with the flow-through design, a low back pressure can, but I don't have one of those. And spending the money and waiting the year to get one, it's just not something that is in my plans. So the PTR 32, handsome gun, very cool concept. I still appreciate it. I still have a love for it, but it just ended up being a rifle that I don't really use that much. And heck, I ended up not even doing a full review on the channel with it. Wanted to, especially with a welded on pick rail, which is great. Nice update to a decades old HK design. But it just ended up being one of those, dang, that was a lot of money for something I'm not really gonna play with that much. I'm curious if you guys have had any similar experiences, not necessarily with these. I know these things are uncommon. In fact, if you've never even heard of this, let us know. Nothing wrong with that. I'm curious how many of you had heard of a PTR 32. But I'm sure you guys have done something similar, and it's okay to admit it. Bought something you thought would be really cool, and then when you got it, it just turned out to not be quite what you thought, or not quite what you wanted. That's today's topic. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.